How's it going, folks? Thought I'd give you a bit of a look at a Australian native bee hive swarming. As you can see, I'll just cover this first. The hive is in a little bit of disrepair. We have the top hive has been really badly affected by some sort of rot, and we decided we'd let it go all the way through winter when they have their downtime before we swap out that top section of the hive, just to let them build up a little bit of strength within the hive over the warmer months, and we'll swap it out round about December, January. More on that later, but I just thought I'd point that out. That strap is broken, but there's that much resin between the different areas, the top box isn't going to fall off. Now, as to the swarming behaviour, well, I've got a couple of theories about that. Initially I thought maybe it's because the box has degraded that much that they just want it out of there to go colonise somewhere else. But then I thought, no, that's probably not the case, because we're seeing a lot of activity out the front here that looks like they're actually biffing. I'm just coming, excuse us fellas, we're coming through. Every now and then there will be a tumble of bees that come out. Looks like there's a few bees that have ganged up on the others and they come out in a bit of a tumble. I'm thinking what we might have here is a competing hive or swarm trying to come in and take over. You might be able to see there's a fair bit of activity just happened there. Maybe I was a little bit too far away to catch it. But anyway, I think that is what is going on. Generally, the only other time they swarm like this is if they're abandoning the hive, or if there is something going on with a queen wanting to leave and form her own community somewhere else. So you might be able to see there every now and then a small tumble of bees comes out the opening. And I think what they're doing is trying to eject invaders that are coming into the hive. Just a little bit of an update, folks. It's now day number 3 and these bees are still swarming in the morning. And they pretty much will calm down round about midday, and by the afternoon the hive is nice and quiet. Every now and then I'm still seeing a big tumbling of bees come out the entrance, but another thought I had was maybe there is something that has entered the hive, some sort of pest species other than bees, and that is what's causing this swarming behaviour. And yeah, Jack's also chasing lizards in the mulch. So yeah, I'm still not 100% sure on what's going on. I was expecting, if another colony was invading, to see a load of dead bees on the ground. I know there's a lot of greenery down there, but you would think there would be some stuck to the leaves and bits and pieces. But yeah, I am seeing absolutely nothing down there dead bee wise, but these guys are just still going ballistic. Something I just really haven't seen before. We've seen them swarm previously, but we think it was a splitting of the hive because there was a whole mass of bees sitting on a nearby wire fence and on the mango leaves. It definitely wasn't a swarming event like this with all these bees around the hive itself. So from what I've seen in Tim Hurd's book, there tends to be a lot of deceased bees underneath the entrance when it is a hive takeover, and we're just not seeing it as you saw before. So yeah, I am at a bit of a loss. Maybe it's just a little bit of a morning attack thing, and then they have a bit of a siesta in the afternoon and come back the next morning. Generally these guys are a lot more mellow than this. You've got a couple of guards sitting inside the entrance, and then the odd bee leaving and the others coming back in with the pollen laden legs. So this is very abnormal behavior, but not one, as I said, I'm overly stressed about, because it does look like they are trying, if we can zoom in, it does look like they are trying to eject bees rather than just holus bolus exiting the hive. Just to catch up on this hive, we've had it since 2016. It was gifted to us by Paul. Thank you very much, mate. Very generous fellow, given us a few things over the years. So we've had it for almost 7 years. These guys are the Tetragonula hawkingsi. So these hawkingsi generally have the brood in a center mass of the hive itself, and then around the outside you'll see the little pollen pots and honey pots as well, and you may be able to tell that we broke a couple when we were splitting this hive with Paul. There is another variety called the Tetragonula carbonaria, and they have a spiral formation for their brood, and you'll see a lot of their photos online around the place. They still have honey and pollen pots, but they're pretty much all around the outside of that spiral brood. They're not really a honey producing bee as such. Some people do take the honey from the hives. We prefer just to let them pollinate all the different plants we have around the place. We've seen them in the bananas, not that the bananas need pollinating. We've seen them on the mango flowers, green onion flowers, turmeric, ginger flowers, and also in the little blueberry flowers. They crawl up inside there, do their thing, rattle the pollen around and help facilitate the formation of fruit there. So they are a very industrious little bee. We actually had a small hive establish itself in an old termite nest out in the front yard a couple of years back. It only lasted a couple of months, but I think that's because the opening was facing skyward, and yeah, it just probably would have filled up with water fairly quickly. I have seen them form nests in trees in parklands as well. There's one down near the community garden we used to attend that had a native beehive in one side of the tree, and in the other it had a European beehive, which I thought was pretty special. But apparently they were cohabitating in the same tree, but just different hives. So back to our bees now. It'll be interesting to see how they go, see whether the swarm settles down in the next day or so. And what I'll do is I'll bring you an update on the community tab, or I might film a short and post that to the channel and just let you know what happens, whether the hive ends up being abandoned or we end up with a different lot of bees in there. If they are the Tetragonula carbonaria who are taking over, we should be able to tell, because after a while there will be a little bit of a resin buildup on the outside of the entrance, as I understand it. And if any of you guys out there could help us out with swapping over the top section of the hive, Bianca and I could do it, and we'd just be following instructions we've seen online. But if someone's got more experience and would like to give us a hand, we would really appreciate that. And yeah, I'm thinking the bottom box might need to be swapped over as well. If you would like to help us fix this hive, if you could leave a comment in the comment section, that'd be fantastic, and we'll have a bit of a chat about sorting something out. Yeah, I don't mind paying for people's services either. That is not an issue. We do definitely need to sort these fellows out into better living conditions, but I think we might just have to wait until they stop swarming. Because while they don't have the stingers, as I said before, they can be a little bit hard to work around while they're swarming like this. So if you guys could give us a hand, I really would appreciate it. If you can share it around with your other beekeeping friends, native beekeeping friends, I'd really appreciate their helping hand if they feel like they could help us out at all. Thank you again for all you folks who come along and check out the videos every week. I'll leave some links down below for you to suss out a bit of a discount on the goods I sell on the shop for the time being, leading up to Christmas. But yep, I will leave it there. Thank you, supporters. Thank you, regular viewers, and I will catch you next video. Cheers all, have a top one. Standing here and a praying mantis shed just fell on me. That's pretty groovy.